candlestick, they lighted, that they might give light in the temple. So they lighted the candlestick up. Like I say, you got 6 different ones going around, because it's going like from the, say, 11 to the 5 at 4 o'clock. That has numbers that's good from 1 to 12. And from the 1 to the 7, and from the 12 to the 6, you have one in the middle. So it says, verse 50, and upon the altar they burn incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light in the temple. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the tables, and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is this month, on the 25th day, they rose up betimes quickly in the morning, and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. See, it was the 25th day. But we go by the moon, by the new moon, and counting the days for the feast days. So the 25th, our 25th this year will be tomorrow evening. Look at what time and when and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals. So we got to look at that, because when you go back to First Maccabees, the 1st chapter, and as we read down from verse 47, it says, they set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrificed swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, like they're doing now. You know, teaching homosexuality and lesbianism in the schools, and you can be a tranny, you can eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, all the things that's abominable in the laws of the Most High. That's how you sacrifice your children to devils, and not to the Most High. It tells you that in 1 Corinthians 10, 20, and 21. To the end they might forget the law. So what you think is happening right now? Same thing. To the end that we might forget the laws of the Most High. That's why it's so hard for our people to come back to the law, because you purposely being programmed that you're not under the law, but you're under mercy and grace. So they're the Most High's laws. So everybody that said that, you saying you ain't got to follow the Most High, but yet still you going to call on him. You ain't calling on him, you calling on Satan, the devil. Because that's his laws. And these things are being done. Why? To the end, verse 49, to the end they might forget the law and change all the statutes, all the ordinances that the Most High gave us to follow. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. If you don't profane the laws of the Most High, the Sabbath and the festival days, you should die. In the self same matter wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city, pigs, hog, all kind of abominable things. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. I'll read to you again, all you that don't want to follow the Most High's rules and regulations, his laws, such commandments. Listen. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, all of you that don't want to follow the Most High's law, you want to follow the Most High, and so they committed evils in the land. See? That's why you're a bunch of evil people, because you're going to continue to commit evils in the land that's contrary to the laws of the Most High. Just like we did here. And drove the Israelites into secret places. This is where we went into the catacombs. Even whatsoever they could flee for secure. That's why the Vatican, they got 600 miles and we lived underground. Where we can run to be secure and safe. Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and built idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, right? And burn incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. It's on the 15th, starting on the 15th. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, when he had tore up all the Bibles, all of the law and the prophets, that's all they had. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. They burned up the Bible. This is the lineage of the Greeks, so-called white people. Now they got the Bible acting like they holding it now. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire, burned them up. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the Testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. If you consent to the law of the Most High, the king's commandment was to put him to death. Thus did they, by their authority, unto the Israelites every month they put us to death, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month, see, the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. The 25th day of the month, like the 25th day of this month, which they celebrate Christmas. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. See? And our boys are supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. So all the women, all you Israelite women that sacrificed your boys on that 8th day was put to death on the 25th day of the month. So when y'all out there celebrating Christmas, just know and be assured that on that 25th day, they was putting you and your sons to death, was circumcising the male child on the 8th day. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. That's the law. That a male child is supposed to be circumcised. His scrotum supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. And they hang the infants about their necks. That's why you're looking at these Christmas bulbs. It represents our babies' heads that they put on them trees. Target, I don't know if they do it this year, but I know every year I looked at them, they had faces on their trees representing our babies. And they hanged the infants about their necks, and raffled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. They killed them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Israel. So I went here to show you that on verse 59, now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had circumcised their children to be, caused their children to be circumcised. You see that? So going back to First Maccabees, (4) and 54, it says, look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals with music. See, when was this? Verse 52. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, which is this month, which is the 25th day of the month, that they were killing the women and the children and the boys that were circumcised. That's when they dedicated the temple. Back to us. Let's go into 2 Maccabees. The 10th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. Now, Maccabeus and his company, the Most High guiding them, removed the temple and the city. But the altars which the heathen had built in the open street, and also the chapels, they pulled down. And having cleansed the temple, they made another altar. And striking stones, they took fire out of them, and offered a sacrifice against after 2 years, and set forth incense and lights and showbread. When that was done, they fell flat down and besought the Most High that they might come no more into such troubles. But if they sin any more against him, that he himself would chasten them with mercy, and that they might not be delivered unto the blasphemous and barbarous nations, as these heathen, the Edomites, so-called white people at this time, that were ruling. Now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple, on the very same day it was cleansed again, even the 25th day of the same month, which is Caslu of December. So when you celebrating your Christmas, just know that that day was a day that they were killing you women and the boys that were sacrificed. They sacrificed them. The boys that were circumcised, they made them a big sacrifice for the heathen, women and the boys. Now, First Maccabees 5:1. Now let's go back. Let's go back to let's look at First Maccabees 4, and we're going to read at 55. Then all the people fell down, fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the Most High of heaven, who had given them good success. This is when the temple was regained. Remember, we sacrificing a pure and holy altar on the 5 and 20th day, on the 25th day of this month, which is Esau's 12th month. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days. That's why this lasts from the 22nd to the 30th this year. And offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields. These shields are the shields that we see today, like what they call the shield of David, with shields, and the gates and the chambers were renewed. They renewed and hanged doors upon them. This was their thus was their very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. The reproach of the heathen was put away. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season, from year to year, by the space of 8 days. So just like Esau, in his way, said everybody supposed to honor the 4th of July for them winning the victory over the Britain, July 4th, 1776, and y'all doing it every year. The same thing we did here. While we honoring what our forefathers, had gotten the victory to the power of the Most High, power of heaven, as they prayed to and cried to. We supposed to be honoring what we accomplished in our wars against the heathen. That's why it says. But y'all people don't understand and don't even consider. You tell them you're not supposed to celebrate Christmas, but you can celebrate Feast of Dedication as we're going through at this time. You got 8 days to have a good time, not just one day. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season, from year to year, by the space of 8 days, from the 5 and 20th day of the month, Caslu, with mirth and gladness, having a good time. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before. So it says, hey, you know them Gentiles, the head Gentile was the Edomites. They built up strong walls for a fortress, a garrison to guard the protectors from these heathen. Listen, and they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Beersheba to preserve it. Listen, that the people might have a defense against Idumea. Come on. Idumea, look it up in the dictionary, it says Edom, Rome. So-called white people. Caucasian race. First Maccabees 5:1. Now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built, and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. And you got to understand this, because without sanctuary being built, we could call on the Most High. Coming together, as we're supposed to come together, gather ourselves together one way or another. O nation not desire, say, well, it's here to displease these heathen nations for us to call on our power. Because they know we have the ultimate power, the only power, the Most High power of who? Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who we are. And that's what we say his name is, that is his name forever and a memorial to all generations. He said, wherefore, they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob. Since they found out the temple was built, these other heathen nations thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them. So all of us that was among them, they wanted to kill us. And thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. They began to kill us for all the different cities we were in. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau. Come on, you can't get no clearer than that. The children of Esau, who was descendants of Alexander the Greek. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea at Arabataim, because they besieged Israel, and he gave them a great overthrow, and abated their courage, and took their spoils. Also he remembered the injury of the children of Ben, who had been a snare and an offense upon the people, and that they lay in wait for them in the ways. He shut them up therefore in the towers, and encamped against them, and destroyed them utterly, and burned the towers of the place with fire, and all that were therein. Put them in them towers and burn them up. That's what he did. So that's what you see when we go back to John 10. And 22. That the Mashiach Yahushua is honoring. John 10:22. And it was Jerusalem, the feast of dedication. And it was winter, just like it is. I think today is the first day of winter in Esau's system. Tomorrow's the feast of dedication at even in winter. Perfect timing. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. And the Mashiach Abishai walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be a Mashiach, tell us plainly. Mashiach Abishai answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one, meaning they agree. Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. They wanted to kill him. See? But all he's telling them is, hey, I and my Father are one. They don't have no understanding. Just like a lot of people don't have an understanding today. Don't have a clue what he's saying. But look at St. John 17:11. This will show you that they agree. Now how can we be one? And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to thee, O Holy Father. Keep through thine own name those who thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. Now, how are we going to be one? How will we be one with another man? How will we be one with another man? Or you going to be one with another man? That they may be one as we are. See? Verse 21. That's talking about in the same mindset. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And the glory which thou hast given me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. In agreement. That's why you read 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Says, now I beseech you, brethren, by Shem Mashiach Yahushua, that ye all speak the same thing. That's how you be one. We all got to speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and the same judgment. That's it. That's all that one is talking about. They wanted to pick up stones and stone him because they said that he was saying that he's, equal with the Most High, and he wasn't. Definitely wasn't. Just like none of us are the same. But we could be one in the same mindset. And he cleared that up, and for anyone that think that he was trying to say the same, he cleared that up in John 14:28. Ye have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If ye love me, you would rejoice, because I said, I go unto the Father. For my Father is greater than I. There it is right there. Case closed. But we see that Mashiach Yahushua observed the Feast of Dedication. It was the Feast of Dedication. And that's when they wanted to kill him on the high holy day. On the holy day that we ordained, as far as a lot of people say it might not be the holy days that we read in Leviticus 23rd chapter, but we ordained it to be a day that we will put in remembrance. So it is a holy day. A pure day that we received our temple back and our sanctuary back from the heathen that had defiled it, doing all kind of madness up in the temple, the church. So it is a day of remembrance for us, the children of Israel. So hopefully that was edifying you. You can read through the whole chapters if you want to get more understanding of what went down with the fighting and so forth, or the armies and so forth, but I'm not going through all of that. I think that was enough to edify you, to let you know that the Feast of Dedication was us receiving our temple back from the Greeks, Antiochus Epiphanes, that wicked king, which was of the Greek Empire. With that, I say shalom.